Jai Shri Mataji. Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to this start of the week, and especially after this amazing Shri Krishna Puja. So this evening, we would like to do the string treatment. So this is a good time before we start meditating. You can, if you have any kind of string, thick, thin, cotton, or any kind, you can bring it now whilst we are just preparing ourselves. I will keep announcing it in between. So before we raise our Kundalini, let us have a string with us. In case you do not have a string, you can put your right hand on your left side of the chakras and we can do the clearing. So it doesn't matter if we don't have a string, we can still do the treatment. We can raise our Kundalini and put ourselves into Bandhan. And now, once we are done, we can take our right hand in front and just raise our hand 3 times and bring our attention on top of our Sahasrara. Let's just stay at our Sahasrara. From our Sahasrara, let us for a few seconds with a complete heart and mind. We can take our attention higher and higher towards the sky. With a deep desire to connect. And now we can put both our hands towards Mother Earth. In fact, actually, just the left hand. Right hand towards Mother Earth and left hand towards Shrimataji. As we are, each one of us are part and parcel of Mother's being. Each one of us have a role to play, and its precious cell. We will do the string treatment to clear the left channel later. But what we can do in the beginning, first, if there is anything that is against our Vishuddhi chakra, we must have heard Mother's talk in the last few days. So for a few minutes, let us see which qualities of our being, our connection with Shri Krishna that we admire in ourselves. So let us bring some joy in our heart. It could be simple like, yes, we like to be collective. We do collective meditation. We love our brothers and sisters. That we love ourselves. And that we are aware that we are part and parcel of Mother's body. That we all will only evolve when we evolve collectively together. So once our heart is open, we are more honest. So next 1 minute or so, let us pray to Shri Adi Bhumi Devi to remove all the imbalances that take us away from the awareness of our presence on earth, and that we may be sarcastic, we may be sometimes reactive, and sad, or any of these feelings, lack of confidence, lack of feeling connection, betrayed maybe, that all these thoughts are truly, truly not real. They are not coming from mother's being. So let's shrug them off completely. Let's remove the cloud of such thoughts. And bring a very strong desire to be in a state how Mataji was, in a very human form, but working out single-handedly. She worked out Sahaja Yoga in the whole world. In the same way, how are we working out things? Let us listen to Shamaji's talk for a while. And after the talk, we will do some clearing.
It's not that only they got awakening of the Kundalini. The awakening of the Kundalini was there, no doubt. But it had to come down to their Vishuddhi Chakra. If I could not have brought it back to their Vishuddhi Chakra, their hands would not have moved that fast. They would have never felt the sweetness, the madhurya of Sri Krishna, and they would not have manifested it. So all that is expressed through your fingers and hands achieves that new awareness of creating the madhurya, the sweetness. In your art, in your music, in your gestures, in every way, your hands are very important. But Vishuddhi Chakra also plays part, as you know, on the 16 chakras or the subplexuses, which look after our face, our ears, nose, eyes, neck. All these things are looked after by Vishuddhi Chakra. As a result, also, you can become great actors. You can have eyes which are innocent. You can have a skin which is shining. You can have ears which can hear the divine music. You can have a nose which shows your dignity. In the same way, your whole facial expression changes. If you are a very harsh person and a hot-tempered person, and you have harshness on your face, Or else if you are like a beggar all the time, or you're crying all the time, weeping, your face looks so miserable, everything changes and comes into the center where you look beautiful, you look attractive in the divine way, and also you get a very sweet countenance. Also, the teeth and the tongue are looked after by Vishuddhi. So your teeth, which are in trouble, get cured. You sometimes, as I told you, I've never been to a dentist all my life. So you can imagine that you don't have to go to the dentist anymore if you have your Vishuddhi chakra all right. Then also your tongue improves. For example, some people are very sarcastic by temperament. They cannot say something sweetly. All the time they are sarcastic, saying sarcastic things. Some people have a habit of abusive language. Some people are extremely beggarish type, all the time talking in a very beggarish manner. There's no dignity, there's no sweetness, and there is no self-confidence for some people. Some people even stammer. Some people cannot stand on the stage and give a lecture. All these things drop out as soon as your Vishuddhi chakra improves. This is only outward. This is the outward manifestation of the Vishuddhi chakra's improvement within yourself through the awakening of Sri Krishna on Vishuddhi chakra. But what happens really is that inside you, you become a witness. You become a witness in the sense that all that is disturbing, all that is troubling you, all that is a problem, you just start watching it. You start witnessing it. You start seeing it, and you do not get disturbed. That seeing, that witnessing state has a tremendous power. Whatever you see without thinking, your problems get solved. Any problem you have, once you get this witness state, what you call tatastha, means you are standing on the shores and watching the waves to move. Then you know how to solve the problems. So your witness state has to be developed. And sometimes I've seen people have to go through little difficulties to develop that witness state. This is very important that once the Kundalini starts supplying you from your Sahasrara downward, moving on your chakras and enriching your different chakras on the Vishuddhi chakra, when it has to stay, it really tries to little bit take you through turmoils. And you start thinking that, see, now my life was so blissful, I had so many blessings, and now what has happened? But this is the time when you should become tatastha, means you should become a witness. If you become a witness, everything improves. For example, you are, say, a person who is working in some place. As soon as you become a witness, you see, your attention goes inside and you start watching things from inside out. As a result, you see exactly what's wrong where. And as you have got the power of witnessing, with that power, you get over the problems that you have. Problems get solved very easily if you know how to witness the whole situation than to get involved into it. And this is the best state which we call as Sakshi Swarupatma, which you achieve when the Kundalini comes up and the connection is established and the divine ray starts following through that and enriches your Vishuddhi chakra. Now the name of Sri Krishna.
Let's meditate in silence. in this talk, Mother was talking about very, very, very common reflections of Sri Ganesha that she minimum to minimum wants to see in us. And we all are aware that we are not there yet. So, before we start the left side clearing, it will take maybe 15, 20 minutes. I will again repeat. We are going to do a string treatment. We can give a few minutes. If you don't happen to have it, please bring a thread of any kind. In the meantime, as you're going to bring the thread, I'll just tell a story, which I repeat many a times and is very close to my heart, especially when I get too involved in anything and that I have to remind myself. My feeling is that Shri Mataji, as her beautiful incarnation, as she made every child special to her. So fortunately, there is no difference in us, what color, what background, accent, religion we had in the past or have. And so we are like Sri Arjuna to her. And she's working out things in her own way. And there's a story in Gita, the time when Sri Arjuna is very sad because his son just died, Abhimanyu. He was very, very fond of his son, as we are fond of many things, maybe our house, our family, our possessions. And at that time, even though Sri Krishna had shown his complete swarupa to Arjuna, because he wanted him to be his instrument and not feel attached to his grandparents, grandfather, his guru, his relatives, his uncles who were standing against him, and he was supposed to kill them because that was the dharmic thing to do. But he was so attached to Abhimanyu that he was crying and crying and crying. And he said, I cannot kill anybody because my son is died. So Sri Krishna had no choice, but he had to stop the time. And he took the time ahead. And he took Sri Arjuna to a place where his son Abhimanyu had already taken birth. And he was like 7-8 years old. So he takes Abhimanyu he takes Arjun to that village and to the family and his son. He says, oh, because he looks like Abhimanyu. He says, oh, it's my son, Abhimanyu. He hugs him tight. And that boy was not in that life like Abhimanyu, because he had taken birth in his new family and the spirit had taken a new body and new feelings. So he did not recognize his dad. And at that time, he was even more sad, So he realizes that he shouldn't have, he shouldn't have drifted from his dharma to do what Sri Krishna was asking him to do. And so he comes back and he fights the war. And of course, they win the war. And in the same way, I repeatedly tell myself that, okay, I'm here like Sri Arjuna. And this life is to listen to Shri Mataji's instructions and do exactly and precisely what she's asking. And sometimes we get distracted, we get angry, lose our confidence. And the most beautiful thing that we can remind ourselves and collectively is that we find it harder to look at the spirit. But what if we recognize strongly that Srimataji is in our hearts, we are in our body, and let us look at this life through our spirit, through that journey that Sri Krishna and Arjuna had together, and that Sri Krishna is watching, Sri Mataji is watching us. So this next step, I hope you got the thread in this next 10 minutes or so. Let us genuinely and strongly desire that may our left side be very clear, balanced, and dignified. Let there be no thought that we are accumulating or we are carrying things from the past. Shrimataji cannot. We are in her body. She has made us so light and beautiful, like a new child, a new flower with a new fragrance. Let us not recognize from our past, from our childhood. Let us believe in our left side that the true emotion that we can have is for ourselves to be one with Srimataji and to be like her, dignified, smiley, full of joy, communicating with sweetness. Complete surrendering. Let's heighten our desire and drop all the desires coming from this Maya. So left hand on a lap, and on the right hand, we can have the string. If you don't have a string, you can put your right hand on your left side of your body on each chakra. So for the first chakra, that's Sri Ganesha's, for the Muladhara, let us tie a knot and put it just between both the palms, just where the palm starts. Mother, please remove all the imbalances, all the false identities. And make me auspicious and fragrant like Sri Ganesha. Speak Ganesha's mantra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Now let us go on the second chakra, the Swadhisthana chakra, and tie another knot. If you don't have a thread, you can put your right hand on your Swadhisthana chakra and let us hold it between two thumbs. Mother, please absorb or remove all the negativities, all the false knowledge that I indulge in. And please, Mother, please, may I have a life where every second I'm full of the Nirmal knowledge emits through different expressions and in my brain. And Mother, most importantly, please, on left Swadhisthana, please remove all the negativities that make us too responsible for our children, for our parents, for our friends, or anybody. We can do that only in a balanced state. So please, Mother, remove all the negativities of attachments. It's a false knowledge. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmal Vidya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Let's go on the third chakra, which is the Nabhi chakra, and tie a knot. Mother, please remove all the negativities of our left Nabhi chakra. Mother, please remove all false identities. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Graha Lakshmi Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shrima, at this chakra, we cannot have peace or we cannot evolve. We cannot be generous. We cannot be dignified if we are not longing for you, if we are not longing to be a spirit. Please, Mother, please absorb all the negativities in all the yogis, all the negativities of attachments, false attachments. Now let us tie a knot for heart chakra. If you do not have a thread, you can just put your hand. Hold the knot between two fingers, little fingers. Mother, please remove all the negativities, preventing us to enjoy the nectar of our spirit. Om त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री शिव पार्वती साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः. And just another prayer for the UK, and in fact for all the yogis, to make us special in expressing our hearts, new ways, special ways, that we don't just remain like how the atmosphere is. Truly like you. You looked after us, Mother. So may our hearts be open, and may there be no negativity preventing us to express love. Now, let us go to the Vishuddhi Chakra and tie a knot. If you don't have a thread, you can just put your right hand on the left side. Mother, please absorb all the negativities that are against the values, the culture of this beautiful chakra. All the guilt, sarcasm, guilt, superiority complex, inferiority complex, and again, the identity. Mother, please prevent all the negativities. Mother, please absorb all the negativities that prevent us to enjoy the ocean of love. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishnu Maya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. And we can here also ask Mother, from our hearts, Mother, may there be the quality in your children. And let's not only worry about the quantity, because the quantity will not sustain if we are not well connected to you and to each other. Please, Mother, please remove all the negativities. Now the next Agya chakra, let's tie a knot. Or we can just put our hand on the right side, just above the ear. Mother, please absorb all the negativities that make us react negatively towards ourselves and others. And may there be complete forgiveness and sweetness towards ourselves and others, just because we are submerged in your body at your feet. So there is no pain of any kind. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahavir Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. We can now have the whole thread in our left palm. And we can pray to Shrimadaji to bless us. That we all are completely integrated and that we feel the divine bliss pouring through your feet. Like water tickling through different chakras, pouring through different nadis. And going to every cell. And here, let us meditate in silence. And the last mantra for the Sahasrara. And then we can meditate. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrar Swamini Moksha Pradaini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. And before we raise our Kundalini and put ourselves into Bandhan, I would really request everyone that we collectively pray that as we look after ourselves, that we also have love and compassion and sweetness in our expressions for our family. And if there is any situation where there could be any differences, that we go into the state of silence. Tatashk and Tatshan means that moment our spirit is with us, holding our hand and saying, no bitterness, no harshness, no sarcasm, but only sweetness or just silence. We can now raise our Kundalini and put ourselves into Bandhan. Thank you very much for joining. Have a very nice rest of your evening and a beautiful day and a week ahead. Jai Shri Mataji.